Hey everybody, it's Silent Night, Deadly Night from 1984. It's not a real favorite slasher of mine, so that'll shock a few people. I don't really care for this movie much. There's a few scenes throughout it, there's like two good kills maybe, but as a slasher fan, like this movie just doesn't do it for me. Like it's not a good movie. It's really not. Like the plot is just bonkers, which is usually fine for me. For some reason, it just, I don't know, it doesn't get my rocks off this movie. Like, it really doesn't. But, I mean, there are some good things, for sure. And I do watch this every year. So you'd think that, like, a movie I watch, like, every Christmas time would be something I like more. It's more just for the Christmas feel. And just for, it's a killer Santa Claus going around killing people. Like, how can you not watch that? Same with Christmas Evil. Not a fan. Like, not a huge fan. Like, I like the movie. Same with this. But, like, when I look at my favorite 80s slashers, like Intruder and Pieces and Blood Rage and The Mutilator and Maniac, The Burning, like, all of those, there's nothing in here that matches anything in there for me. Especially with the most important thing in a slasher movie, the kills. And the gore and practical effects. Yeah, we got Linnea Quigley in here, that's nice. Like, that's always a good thing in the 80s. But besides that, like, if they would have went balls to the wall, like, had Savini on this movie, and just had crazy gore effects, and, like, insanely graphic kills, I would like this movie a lot more. Like, I can just say that straight up. I would like this movie much more if the kills were better. But let's jump into it. 1984, Silent Night, Deadly Night. Poor Santa Claus, man. He was treated like he was a psychopathic killer for this movie. The score to this movie I like. Like, again, though, like when I compare it to other slashers from the 80s, for me, like, it has nothing on the scores from all those aforementioned movies. But it's a good score. Like, it fits the movie and, like, the weird twistedness of, like, the whole concept here. And just the whole controversy with this movie that it got pretty much, like, picketed and, like, just, like, kicked out of theaters because everyone was getting so crazy at the idea of a killer Santa Claus. Even though we had Christmas Evil, like, a few years earlier than this. So, like, no one was bitching then. I guess it was just, that was the height of the slasher craze. Like, right around 84 or so. Because right after that, it started going downhill. So, maybe that's why. But again, like, there's nothing in this movie that would ever make me, like, look at those people as justified in saying this movie is too controversial and too crazy. Again, it's not. Like, it's really not a violent movie. Yeah, there's a few. There's, like, 2 kills in this movie. Besides that, like, it's really not that violent. Going by the slasher movie gauge, no, it's not too violent at all. So, like, the whole controversy was mostly because of just having a killer Santa, which, again, like I said, has been done before. So, I don't, like, a few times, not just Christmas Evil. So, I don't know why everyone got their panties in a bunch, like, over this movie. But they did. I like when they're driving here at the beginning and they're saying, like, to Robert in the backseat, and saying that, not Robert, he's the actor, right? Billy. Yeah, Billy. See what I mean? Every year I watch this movie, forgot his name already. Billy, when he's the little kid in the back seat, the mom's like, Santa's gonna bring you something really good later tonight when it's past your bedtime and you're sleeping. He's gonna bring you 2 dead parents. Like, it's tragic what happens to this character in this movie. Like, that I can say. Like, it really sucks what Billy goes through here. No one should have to go through this. And you know, in my Troll 2 video, if you saw that, when I said Grandpa Seth is like one of the creepiest grandpas in a movie, this guy's up there too. Like, when I was doing Troll 2, I was thinking of this guy also. This grandpa is fucking terrifying too. So this one and Grandpa Seth from Troll 2. Terrifying grandfathers, like in a movie. Yeah, it was getting hot, so I put this hat over this hat like I've been doing. It's a brilliant idea, really. Christmas Eve is the scariest damn night of the year. Dude, he's so creepy, this grandpa. But he has a point. The whole idea of Santa Claus is ridiculous. Come on. That if you're a bad kid and you're going to get coal, and if you're a good kid, then some fat guy who lives in the North Pole, who rides a sleigh with reindeer around the world in one night, is going to break into your house by coming down your chimney, eat your cookies and drink your milk, and leave you presents only if you were nice. That alone to like a small child has got to sound terrifying. This strange man that I've never met before, that I'd never see anywhere, because he only comes out on Christmas, except for like a mall somewhere, or like on some idiot's YouTube channel. I never see Santa. So like that's a terrifying thought, like in its own. Then just have a kid's imagination turn on, like it always inevitably does, and immediately they can start thinking like, what if I was bad? What if Santa's bad? What if Santa hurts me? Santa Claus is kind of like a terrifying thing to tell children. And that whole dialogue from the grandpa, I would be good from then on too. Like that's like a thing that you can hear from your grandpa that will just instantly make you change your ways and mean it 100%. Not like a Nancy Thompson's mother at the end of Nightmare on Elm Street when she comes out and just says, I don't feel like drinking. I just don't feel like it anymore. Ridiculous. This is like you 100% mean it. You're like, I'm not being bad. I swear I'll be good from now on, Grandpa. I promise. That's a funny ass scene. The whole robbery scene is ridiculously stupid. Like, it's funny. Don't get me wrong. Hysterically funny. The final bullet shot to the clerk's head looks pretty good. The whole thing with when Santa comes in, and then he just pulls the gun out, and the guy's reaction, what are you doing with that? Come on, really? And even Santa has to say, I'm fucking robbing you. Like, seriously, this guy didn't put two and two together. He really had to ask, what's that for? What are you doing? Really? I don't know. That's so weird to me. But then he just reaches for his gun, and he thinks he's going to quick draw McGraw this guy who has the gun pulled on him already, and he just shoots him dead. Like a few times, because then he tries shooting back, and then he shoots him in the head, which, like I said, looks good. And then we're about to see Billy's entire life just crumble in front of his eyes when Santa kills his parents. Another stupid line here by the mom when they see the Santa waving him down with his car all messed up. She says, "Oh, I see something," and she's like, "Who would get stuck out here in the middle of and then she gets cut off. That's where most people get stuck. It's like in the middle of nowhere, places where they don't want to be. People get stuck in the middle of nowhere all the time. It's not like it's his fault. His car just crapped out or something. So why is it so shocking that somebody's stranded on the road in the middle of the night, no matter where it is?" I'm nitpicking, obviously, but like that always bothered me too, that line. So Santa kills the parents, and like that's what I mean right there. Santa slits the mom's throat. We could have seen, I mean, that's not even gore really to me, a throat slit. Not really. It's like blood. Not really like gore. But like we could have got a gnarly throat slit at least right there. But we don't see anything. I just wish that the kills were better in this movie. It would instantly elevate it at least a point or two higher for me than how I already think about this movie. But then he ends up in an orphanage, and he's already all messed up from Grandpa telling him not to be naughty. But they start beating him and start like putting the same shit in his head. If you're naughty, then we're gonna beat you. Like, this kid has had such a tragic life. Mother Superior, and I forget her name, but the actress who plays Mother Superior, she gives a very good performance in this movie. That I can say, like, right here. She gives a very good performance. When you think about it, she's not a good mother or a superior. Either of those. Like she says here to the younger nun and stuff that's really concerned about him, saying that like every Christmas he seems to get worse. I wonder why. It happened right on Christmas Eve or Christmas. His parents were murdered in front of him. Yeah, that would fuck a kid up, I'm pretty sure. And then Mother Superior says like, it's not going to happen anymore. I will personally take care of this kid. And we see what he grows up to be. So she failed like in every way she could possibly fail. It's funny. It's such a fun watch. I guess that's like the only reason I watch this every year. But like I said, there's so many slasher movies that I'd rather be watching. And no, I'm not doing the rest of these anytime soon. And since that means I'm not doing 2 anytime soon, I'll give it here. Garbage Day! That's so stupid. I love that scene. Who doesn't? But what a stupid line delivery. Oh, the acting in that movie. You gotta praise it. When he's spying on the couple having sex, Mother Superior's into some kinky punishment too. She walks in and catches the couple fucking, and she doesn't even let them get dressed or move or anything. Like, they're still like naked together, and she starts whipping them. Like, what if they're into that shit? What if he was just choking her seconds before she walked in the room? Then she's not really giving a punishment. Like, she's making their night better. Never judge a book by its cover, Mother Superior. You should know this. You're a nun. And the whole thing with orphanages, like, I don't know what it is about, like, the United States with this country here, but you never see these places. Where's the orphanage near you? Can you answer that question? I guarantee 99% of you cannot. I've never seen an orphanage or passed an orphanage in my life. I really can't think of a single time. And I've traveled a decent amount. So I can't remember ever just, like, passing an orphanage. Have you? I would love to hear from someone who knows where their nearest orphanage is without looking it up on Google or something. Because I'm guessing that's the only way you can find these places. And this whole orphanage thing takes place during 1974. They mentioned that on the screen like 10 minutes ago, but I forgot all about it. She's a bitch too, Mother Superior. She walks in where they were all very happily playing with their toys that they got for Christmas, and she says, like, I see only greed, not gratitude. No, they all look like very happy and thankful for, like, what they got. It's not like they're fighting each other for, like, each other's toys. They're playing and having a good time. Like, I don't get that line at all. They're not being greedy. They seem very happy and thankful for the gifts that you gave them. So I don't get her whole bitchy line there. In what world did this nun think that Billy was going to be fine sitting on Santa's lap? The guy who murdered his parents? Like, come on, really? She's so stupid in this movie. And this is exactly why I was saying earlier how dangerous the tale of Santa Claus is to tell children. Because, God forbid, that kid's parents get killed by a Santa Claus. He's going to grow up to be, guess what? A killer Santa Claus. Now it's 10 years later. He's still at the orphanage, presumably, because the nun is asking the toy store owner, like, can, you have to have a job for this boy and stuff. So apparently he's still there at the orphanage. So what has he got to be, like, 17, 18 almost? Seems a little old to be in an orphanage. And no one, see, this is what I mean. If this orphanage was actually somewhere accessible, then someone might have adopted Billy and his younger brother. No one did. Like, in 10 years. This is the problem, see? So this whole concept never should have happened. Like, to this poor kid. This whole story. Like, he deserves such a better life. I feel so bad for Billy. And then we get the cheesiest fucking music in this scene. Like, the little montage of him working at the toy store and, like, helping customers and punching in and stuff. Oh, it's so cheesy. Is it weird that I always forget Billy has blonde hair? Like, every single year. I forget this guy has blonde hair. Because all I picture him in my head when I think of this movie is him in the Santa Claus getup. So I always forget that he has, like, bright blonde hair almost. Yeah, and that music's still playing, by the way. Oh, it's such a terrible, cheesy Christmas song. When have you ever seen a mom and pop toy store? This place is only like 5 at most aisles long. Like, it's not a big place at all. When have you ever seen a small-ass toy store like this have its own Santa Claus? I haven't. And, like, they have way too many employees here, too. They got, like, 4 and 5 employees and shit, like, walking around. It's so funny. Don't you love in movies, like, when someone is, like, in the most obvious despair and pain that they've ever been in, like, around you or around a character here, and, like, they just almost faint, and then you ask, like, are you alright? And they say, never been better in my life. Oh, that's so funny, too. We know you're not alright, motherfucker. Like, we obviously know you when you're okay. Like, 90% of the time, otherwise. This is not that version of you. Like, you are obviously not okay. No one calls him out on it. Uh-oh, Billy being naughty. He's having sex. Just a dream. Man, this guy is so screwed up in the head. Like, this poor man. He can't even think about having sex without having Santa show up and, like, stab him in the back, like literally. Poor Billy. I don't like the name Mr. Sims, the owner's name, like just because it reminds me of The Sims, like that old game. Like I don't even know if they still make those games anymore, but yeah, I wasted a hell of a lot of time playing that first game too. But anytime I hear that the word Sims, I immediately think of that game and all the time I wasted. And how much I would love to have it back. So I just don't like hearing Mr. Sims. His stupid coworker is such an asshole here. Like, can't he just explain to his coworker, just say, listen, like, I'm not a holidays guy. Like, I had a traumatic experience on Christmas. Leave me the fuck alone. He probably wouldn't listen, but I mean, like, come out swinging. If you're gonna, like, try to explain to this asshole what's wrong. Like, why are you giving him an attitude? Which he's not. So, like, this guy's just an asshole for no reason. Now, you gotta think, what are the chances that a kid whose parents were murdered by Santa Claus would grow up and live this exact life, leading him to this toy store, leading to the regular Santa not being around, and them needing him to dress up like Santa Claus? It's not impossible by any means. Like, it's not even improbable. Like, it could definitely happen. But there's a decent odds against it. Like, it's more common, more logical that this would not happen to him than it would. But hey, it makes for a entertaining Killer Santa, so who am I to complain? And he just traumatized the hell out of this little girl, and then what we never see is 20 years from now, she grows up to be a killer Santa Claus. We never see that movie. I love how the nun knows she's in a horror movie, because the dickhead co-worker gets the call from the nun from the orphanage, and says he doesn't work here anymore, but like, ho ho ho, like he's playing Santa Claus for a bunch of kids, and she immediately like freaks out. I mean, I get it, but like, wouldn't you want to be more positive, lady? Like, have some faith in your Lord and stuff. Like, maybe Billy's finally getting past it. Maybe this is good for him. Maybe this is just what he needs. They tried it when he was little. Yeah, that was like real recent after his parents were killed. It's like 10, 15 years later now. I'd be happy that he was facing his fears and finally playing a good Santa Claus. You would have heard by now if he butchered a bunch of people. Oh wait, that does happen. Yeah, yo, there's 7 employees here at this mom and pop toy store. Get out of here. Like, even on Christmas, like I said, there's no chance that this place, that's like the size of a 7-Eleven, not even, has 7 employees here. Like, they show the establishing shot, like, from outside. It looks a little bigger, but all the shot from the inside, like, there's literally, like I said, like 4 or 5 aisles. Like, that's it. Like, there's no reason for that many people. And now we have the rapist, dickhead, employee trying to rape the other woman who works there. And then Billy sees him doing this and sees this happening, and he just snaps. And then he goes up to the dickhead and he fucking hangs him with the Christmas lights. Again, cool aesthetically, like, cool for Christmas, very Christmassy. Terrible slasher kill. Like, it is. Like, it looks good because of the Christmas aesthetic here. Besides that, it's a terrible kill. When he stabs Pamela, the girl that was almost getting raped, and then like lifts the blade up in her while it's inside of her in her chest. Again, it looks okay. It looks fine. It's not a great kill either. Like, it's much better than the first one, but still nothing great. And then with Mr. Sims, we get just with the hammer, but we get a total off-screen kill. We just get blood flies onto one of the cardboard boxes. Like, I don't want to keep bitching on the practical effects and the kills here, but like, that is like the most essential thing for me in a slasher film, is the kills and the practical effects. And this movie just does not have it. Like, Linnea Quigley's death with the the antlers and stuff on the wall, that's a cool kill. The one when they're sliding down the hill, when they're slaying, and he decapitates the guy, that's the unique kill. That's pretty much it, like, in this movie. And before anyone says, yes, it was such a low-budget slasher film and they churned these out fast, yeah, I know. But we look at, like, 1980. Friday the 13th had much better kills than this. Then Friday the 13th Part 2, The Burning. Like, Blood Rage didn't come out to 87, but it was filmed in 83. Look at the gore in that. Like, imagine this movie with, like, the Burning or Blood Rage or Mutilator level kills. Oh, what a better slasher movie this would be. And the instant, I would watch it much more enjoyably every single year if the kills were just better in this. Like, that's like the biggest negative for me for this movie. But since it's a slasher movie, that's a huge negative against it. I don't know. I'm so mixed on this movie. I always have been. I do like the shots when he's chasing the other woman through the toy store, and like the nice little score there, and seeing all the toys on the shelves when he has the axe and he's like walking slowly down the aisles. That's cool. Like, I like that whole sequence. The bow and arrow kill too. Meh. But they taught him at the orphanage how to be a very proficient archer, apparently, because he just nails that shot. I'm going to leave the store with an axe and walk around Christmas, because no cop is going to stop a Santa Claus with a big fucking axe in his hands. Oh, damn, man. They could have got Billy some help, but conveniently, the sister shows up here right after he leaves. That's something. The Christmas carolers here, they're so obvious extras. None of them look like the type of people that would be out on Christmas caroling. Like, they just don't. The kid in the middle, he looks like he's freezing his balls off. He looks like he can't wait to get the hell out of there. Just, they don't look like the people that would be caroling. Like, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but they don't. It's not an 80s movie, horror movie without Linnea Quigley's nice set of tits. That's all I wanted for Christmas. And who just opens their front door with no top on, just completely, their breasts flying in the wind on Christmas or any day except Linnea Quigley? That's who. That whole kill there with the lifting Linnea Quigley up and pushing her onto the deer head on the wall looks awesome. Like, it really does. Best kill in the movie here. And that just makes me more angry at the fact that obviously they could pull off great practical effects here. They pulled off a great kill. It's festive. It's fun. It's good for the entire family for Christmas. This guy doesn't notice a bloody corpse right directly to his right for like 10 seconds. Punish. See, this guy had the right idea. Kick Santa in the jingle bells. He'll still throw your ass out a window. Great scene though with the little girl when she comes out and says Santa Claus, and he gives her a box cutter after he asks if she's been naughty or nice. I've been nice. And he just hands her a box cutter. Like, it's a tense scene though. Like, the first time you see this, you don't know how far this is gonna go. Unfortunately, not far enough. I'm not saying that I want to see this girl killed by him, but like with the kills in general, he walks outside and then he sees the boyfriend that he threw out the window, and we see like a cool like pane of glass like impaled into him. Would have been cooler when he got thrown out the window and you see him fall on the ground and like fall on that piece of glass and see it come out his back or something. Like, that would have been even cooler, but we don't get that. And then when the kids are sledding, and then the other kids come and are dicks to them and steal their sleds basically, and then when the one goes down, nothing happens, and the second one goes down and he gets decapitated. It's okay. It's an okay decapitation, but like, you could tell, like, I can't tell if this is the transfer or not. I don't think so. But I know they put out like a restored, like uncut version of this movie. And that's what it seems like, because like some of the shots here, like, it'll go from looking pretty good, like the film quality, to just looking like cut footage that was just touched up a little bit. It looks so much worse in quality. And then it'll go back to looking like the rest of the movie. And then back to another shot that's just like, looks like early footage that was put back in. So I don't know if this is like an earlier transfer, or if this is, like I said, like that one that they released that they added like scenes back in. I don't know, but like it's very jarring. Damn, man, Mother Superior hasn't aged a day in 10 years. 20 years after that, Silent Night, Deadly Night, Part 6. The Haunted Orphanage, the tale of the ghost of Mother Superior. So now the cop and the sister are going off to the orphanage together to try to predict that Billy's going to go there and kill Mother Superior, which, good guess on their part. Good thing he has the sister there, otherwise he'd have no idea how to get to this orphanage. Garbage day. Just have to give the second movie another shout out there since I'm not doing it. So the cop shows up and accidentally shoots and kills the Father O'Brien, who was dressed up as Santa, and Ricky, Billy's younger brother, the garbage day guy, still at this orphanage. The cop who was there, he starts looking around and he goes into like the cellar and he comes back up and then punish and he gets the axe to the chest. And then again, like shitty quality showing like the axe sticking in his chest. So again, like this has to be that transfer I'm thinking of, because it's really jarring how the gore scenes, if you can even call it like gore really, like, but like how like part of the kills, like the most graphic parts, are just like thrown back into the movie. Saying kind of like with My Bloody Valentine, when like a few years ago when they released it with the cut version of the kills, like with the uncut version of the kills, like inserted it into the movie, and you can obviously tell by the quality of the footage. That's how it is here. And that's how Mother Superior was axed in the face on Christmas, if this was a different movie. But right before that happens, then they open fire and the cop shoots Billy dead. Poor Billy. Again, man, what a tragic fucking life this guy's lived. And like he gets like his final little words, like with the sister who's been trying to save him this whole movie. Man, this guy did not deserve any of this shit, even though he is like a full-on serial killer at this point. And we freeze on Ricky's face, and that's the end. Silent Night, Deadly Night. There you go, 1984. Like I said, it's a fun movie to watch every Christmas Eve or Christmas now, but as a slasher movie, it's just not that good. For me, like I know people who adore this movie, that it's like one of their favorite slasher films. And that's great. Like I always say, like everyone has different likes and opinions. You are welcome to yours 100%. Like, and if this movie works better for you and you love this movie, I love it. Like that's great. It just doesn't do it for me. Like as a slasher movie. And I will talk to you guys soon.